It's easier than ever to be vegan or vegetarian in Japan, I think. It's definitely not as easy as being vegan or vegetarian in Sweden or many other countries, for instance, but it is getting way better. So that's what this video is about. Yay! There's hope for veganism in Japan, I think. And also, there's a wonderful organization called Veggie Project Japan, which is not the sponsor of this video at all. I reached out to them and asked if I could, you know, help them in any way, and they invited me along to a convention at Tokyo Big Sight, great name, where a lot of different vegan products and organizations promoted their stuff, which was really interesting. It was really cool going there.
So Veggie Project Japan is a non-profit organization based in Tokyo. All of our activities kind of center around increasing vegan options in Japan. That's kind of our main goal. One of our main initiatives is the vegan certification. We partner up with businesses and restaurants and stuff to make vegan products. We certify items like soy meat and like snacks and yogurts and things like that. We've certified around 1,200 items. And not necessarily food items, there's also, we do like makeup and like cosmetics, soap and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's what this video is about. I think, you know, I want to promote veganism in Japan as much as possible because I am a vegan, well, want to be at least as vegan as possible, weeb, which I think there are more of us than I realized. The sort of Venn diagram of weebs and vegans is a prominent one. It's not zero. The overlap is big. Okay. There's not a script for this, as you can tell. So what's my history? Well, I grew up vegetarian in Sweden, and I don't think I have suffered too badly for it. I think I'm a fully functioning person, biologically at least. Everything I think works, despite not eating meat as a child. Okay, before I moved here back in 2019, my image of Japanese food was always, you know, sushi, sashimi, maybe wagyu beef, stuff like that. And my grass-fed erection would droop like an overcooked baby corn, you know. And I didn't really get much stiffer when I got here the first time either. When all my friends went to like random restaurants around the language school when I went to study Japanese, you could never rely on them having a vegetarian or vegan option on the menu, for sure. You know, because I'm used to London and Stockholm where it's very easy to, in any restaurant basically, you can always find one big menu item that is at least vegetarian, you know. But here I remember it was a tricky concept to talk about because many people here didn't even know the difference between vegan and vegetarian and pescatarian and all these things.
The term veganism is quite unfamiliar to a lot of Japanese people so far. Obviously that's changing very rapidly, especially in Tokyo, but a lot of people don't have that kind of knowledge about, you know, what veganism is and like what vegan food actually looks like.
Sure.
I think perhaps a lot of people kind of have this idea that it's like just vegetables, you know, which
sure.
Obviously we know that it isn't.
Really
Yeah, like it's all made out of plants, but there's so many, you know, there's soy meats and there's curries and basically anything you can have, you know, non-vegan, you can make vegan.
Yeah, for sure. It's still definitely not very easy though, and I still mess up frequently. I'm not a perfect vegan at all, except for when I cook at home. But we'll get to that. The biggest problem is definitely eating out in Japan. And it is also not very easy to just ask the staff if you can order a meal and then just remove the meat from it. Because firstly, it's like it's definitely not part of the culture here to change the menu in that way. Not as easily as in Sweden or the UK at least. Because I think it is considered a little bit rude sometimes. But also like, even if I've made this mistake, if I've ordered something that says this is like a tofu item on the menu, you order that one, but then you realize in the little stew thing around the tofu, there's always like little bits of meat in it.
Our founder, Haruko Kawano, she started Veggie Project Japan initially as a university student at Kyoto University, and she started it because she wanted to introduce vegetarian and vegan menu items into her school cafeteria because there weren't any at that time.
Right.
And so, you know, she collaborated with the cafeteria staff and people in the university to make that happen. And so that was the first Veggie Project activity, basically.
I did get to meet the founder, Haruko Kawano, as well, very briefly. But I was about to leave and I was also very starstruck because I'm a big fan. So I ran away there very quickly. I mean, she got to interview Paul McCartney, for fuck's sake. This was her, like, a couple of years ago. I was in the presence of giants. Of course I freaked out. So, you know, it's definitely obviously easiest if you just cook everything at home when you live here, or if you stay at an Airbnb with a kitchen or something, you can just make all of your own meals. But obviously you miss out on the food in Japan. That's such a shame, because food here is fucking amazing. But luckily there are so many resources you can use to find vegan-friendly vegetarian restaurants wherever you are, really. Even when I went on the road trip around Japan a couple of months ago, I noticed as well that it was quite easy if you just did a little bit of research before going to any place in Japan to find a vegan-friendly restaurant. Even big chains like Koko Ichiban Curry or Moss Burger, like big Japanese fast food chains, have started offering vegan options. But there's also the Tokyo Veggie Map. Fuck yeah. Given out by the Veggie Project Japan. It's got information in English and Japanese, and it lists a whole bunch of food places in Tokyo you can go to. And it is really nice. You can pick it up for free at lots of different places. It's got English and Japanese information. It's just wonderful.
We've had so many like partner businesses who are so enthusiastic to make vegan options, and people are really seeing that like it's kind of, I guess, the way of the future. Sure, in a lot of ways, yeah, people are kind of, you know, and it connects with SDGs as well, which has been a big thing in Japan. Obviously, veganism, being environmentally friendly and kind of being food that can help solve like food insecurity issues and stuff connects to a lot of that, you know, sustainable development goals side of things as well.
So yeah, things are definitely getting better. So yay! I want to encourage people to, even if you're vegan or vegetarian, come to Japan and enjoy the food here. Do you have any final things you want to say?
Oh, it is often harder than I think where a lot of us are used to. If you're coming from like a European country or someplace like Australia, even places like Taiwan, you know, Japan is one of those, like, I suppose currently less vegan friendly countries to visit, but it's not impossible, and there are a lot of resources that you can use. Definitely check out the Veggie Project's Veggie Map. That's always super useful. I use it all the time to find new restaurants. There's, you know, internet pages like Is It Vegan Japan? You can look at Happy Cow, and always use, you know, your Google Translate to check the back of like ingredients and stuff can be helpful. But also, you know, it is really hard, and don't be hard on yourself if you slip up, because we all do that. We're all human. It's growing. It's changing here, and it's changing across the world. So hold out, be hopeful.
That's so good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Perfect. So there we go, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to the Patreons as always, and thank you very much to Veggie Project Japan for inviting me to the convention. It was really fun. Yay. So if you come to Japan, if you're also a vegan weeb like me, then don't fret, because there are lots of options. You just have to scratch the surface a little bit to find them, kind of. Ow. Okay, there we go. Next video is not going to be about veganism. I know that you guys are more interested in penises.